Hi, my name is Brian and welcome back to the Critix Corner. Today we are talking about Cosplay Melee Episode 2, Game of Thrones. I took notes this time, so I know what I'm talking about. I liked seeing different materials. Metal was cool. Working with the molds was cool. I really had high hopes for Edgar. I was really kind of disappointed when his sword kind of turned out a little crappy. We got to see a product called Epoxy Sculpt. I have no idea what that is. I'm going to find out, and it will probably be a quick toot in the near future. I like seeing what Ruth was doing because, well, she was using some of the more odd materials, including the aforementioned molds and molding. She also, at one point, used a piece of Edgar's costume that he abandoned when they kicked him off the show. Really cool, I'll get points for that. I wasn't happy to see him go, but when they picked him to go, I was like, yep, he didn't do a very good job. So, sorry Edgar, better luck next time. I also liked seeing Ruth use the blue tape technique for making a pattern. That was really cool. I like learning new things and seeing what other people are doing, and seeing that other people do kind of the same stuff that we do is really kind of cool. But I'm also looking for the new stuff. Always on the lookout for the new stuff. However, when I saw Ruth's shield, the 3D effects I felt were subdued almost by the paint job she did on it. Where last week everybody's paint job was really cool, this week's paint jobs I didn't feel were as good. They, in a lot of cases, the paint jobs seemed to flatten out the project, because like Ruth's shield was really three-dimensional. She had all the spikes and stuff coming out of it, and the scars and stuff on it. But when you when it walked down the runway at us, it looked very flat, even though it wasn't. Emily did a flail for her first piece, for the first part of the competition, which looked really fantastic. And don't get me wrong, everybody's stuff looks really fantastic, but it's really obvious that people are doing a lot of anime thinking, because Emily's flail, while really cool looking, is like this really big oversized thing. Not now, I'm trying to do a TV show. I'm doing a TV show here. Can you go bug grandma? Go bug grandma. Sputnik. There she goes. Check out her own channel and subscribe. As far as the first projects going, I really felt that Jennifer's crossbow probably would have fit into Game of Thrones most readily. I think the weapons, I think the sword, the shield, and the flail, like I said, a little too anime for my taste. And, you know, I'm not up to date on Game of Thrones, but I've seen like the first 4 seasons, and Game of Thrones is like really realistic, but with kind of a fantasy flair to it. And all of the costumes, overall, all the ideas seem to be much more anime or anime version of Game of Thrones, which I really kind of felt missed the mark on what they were going for. I felt that they were kind of wanting a little more realistic look. So Emily won the first round, which I don't know if I agree with or not, but she was definitely one of the 2 stronger ones. Emily and Jennifer's crossbow, I feel, were the 2 strongest weapons that were made. Obviously the sword wasn't that good, he got out, and the shield, like I said, the whole flatness with the paint job, yeah, I can see why the shield didn't win. So during the costume making portion of the competition, we got to see some more about what is like around them in their world there, what they get to work with. We definitely got to see more supplies and more random bits that are just kind of laying around, because Ruth found those molds, found those silicone molds just laying around, so she didn't have to make the original mold. So it was really cool that they have that kind of stuff around to kind of throw in different techniques, so it's just not all foam core and EVA foam and hot glue. Okay, and can I just say this? What were you thinking, Jennifer? Wearing sequins and a mini skirt to a costume competition where you're making stuff? Come on, hello, look. Knee holes, ratty t-shirt, okay, that's what you wear when you're doing crafting stuff. You don't go looking like you're going out to the nightclub. Come on, let's be real. Jennifer's costume, I was actually a little disappointed in, because she did all that work on that breastplate, And then the paint job she did really just kind of flattened it out and subdued it, and you really didn't see it. It almost looked like she was walking out there, not really topless, because you knew she wasn't topless, but it didn't look like, I was expecting to see that breastplate all popping and shiny and with, you know, with stuff, and seeing the breastplate as the centerpiece. And really, when she walked out on stage, what did you see? The wig. Ruth's costume looked really cool, and I really liked how she did the layering on the scales, and she changed the scale of the scales. How many times do you say that in a conversation? However, she kind of went back to the anime roots with the way oversized pauldrons, which kind of hit everything, because when she walked out on stage, especially with the shield, all you saw was the shield and the pauldrons. So while Emily's costume, again, I didn't feel was totally in the Game of Thrones, and really didn't look very wildling to me. I mean, it did look stark, but it didn't look really wildling. It was definitely the best put together costume. It looked like it all belonged together, despite the fur issues. Being a judge on this one would be kind of hard, because here again, I think they all kind of missed the mark as far as the theme and doing what they were supposed to do with the theme of Game of Thrones. But overall, I do think Emily's costume was the best on the night. So, if you've enjoyed what you watched, or if you hate what you watched, subscribe and send me a message and ring the bell. See you next time.